Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira Dovid. Baruch Hashem, Shavua Tov. A good baruch to everybody, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Shabbos. And we're in the Adar, so we have to remember we have to be b'simcha, right? Next week is Shabbos Mevorachim, right? Right, Adar v'Shesheni. Okay, Baruch Hashem. All right, so we're going to continue our lessons in Likutey Halachos with a lot of siyata d'shmaya. Hilchos Birchas Hashachar, Halacha Hey, and today we're up to Samach Beis 62. So Halacha Hey 5:62. All right. We always learn for the well-being of our chayalim and our chitufim. Hashem should grant them a lot of siyata d'shmaya and be able to bring them home and keep them all safe. We lost three soldiers over Shabbos, and 14 I think were injured. Last week I went with my wife. We went to Soroka, the hospital down in Beersheba. So we went to the rehab center, and I had met a soldier that told me he was there since the second day of the war. He was shot 7 times.
Whoa.
7 times. Wow. I was trying to think what that is. 7 shots from the Kalashnikov. Those are big bullets. You know, those are. And Baruch Hashem, he had 9 surgeries.
Wow.
9 surgeries, but he's in rehab now, and he expects to go home soon. Baruch Hashem.
Wow.
Amazing.
Did you lose any limbs?
No, this one, no. A lot of them,
Yeah, I know. When you hear injuries, you don't know.
Yeah, injuries. Yeah. No, but really, can you just imagine? We have to understand that what these people are going through.
Yeah.
He took 7 shots.
Did
7.
You say where?
Huh?
Did you say where he took him? I'm just curious.
Mordechai, it makes no difference where.
I know.
It's in his body. You took it in his.
He's a goof.
Yeah. Okay.
Here to talk.
He spoke. Yeah. I gave him a bag of jerky. Oh, he was so happy. He was so happy. Baruch Hashem. We put a smile on the guys' faces. That's what we try to do.
That's all that matters.
That's all we do. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's learn. Samach Beis 62. So now we're learning about this idea of how to get a pigeon, how to get salvations, to get some. If a person has any kind of problems, right, whatever they need, or any kind of Yeshua. Right? Where does it come from? It comes from that place of Metzach Haratzon. That's where it comes. That's where all Yeshuas come from, because all the din comes from the lower Metzach. Right? It's an amazing thing that we're learning these beautiful concepts to really understand the workings of really the deep Zohar secrets, the secrets in the Zohar of how the world really is working. So it's an amazing thing to take it seriously. That we're able to understand that when you say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, you're connecting to that place. That's an amazing thing, right? And then you say the Baruch Shem Kavod Melchusa, you get past that, okay? And then when we have the Kohen that says Koi Sevarchus Bnei Yisrael 25, which is connected to the Shema. All these beautiful ideas, right?
Yeah, I just realized, like when someone is dying and they say the Shema.
Yeah.
They're going right directly to Hashem.
And that's why the last statement you're supposed to say is Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, because they go to that place of Ratzon Elyon.
You bypass the courts.
Wow.
This is popping into my head from Friday.
Yeah.
I was with my 5-year-old grandson.
Okay.
And 6 o'clock, I put a talit on. I couldn't leave because he was there up. I didn't want him to wake up everybody else. So I put it on. He says, got a cape on. And I said, you're right. I said, we are superheroes for HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
There you go.
That's what I said. I said, you were absolutely, because he's into all the caped Marvel and DC guys. Yeah. So now we were talking, he says, Hashem has many names.
Yeah.
We're talking about, so he,
see
all
that?
But it was really amazing when we put our talit on.
It's a cape. Okay, good. See that?
Become a superhero under the canopy of brachas from HaKadosh.
Let me ask them, where do you think they got the idea to put on a superhero a cape? Oh!
The guy was Jewish.
Where do you think they got the idea from? It's amazing, right? It all comes from it's all in the Torah. They take everything and they use it for whatever they like.
But it's just amazing a 5-year-old can start thinking that way.
Right. Okay. So let's go in now. Now let's learn. It is beautiful. It is. Thank you for sharing that. Baruch. Okay. Okay. So we learned now. There's a special time. There's a special time that we get to the Rav, and that's Shabbos by Mincha, right? That's Shabbos by Mincha. That special time. It's the Eis Ratzon, right? That's what we say. Vanis filasi l'cha Hashem Eis Ratzon. Right? We say those words when we take out the Torah. Right before we take out the Torah on Shabbos afternoon, we talk about Ratzon, right? We talk about Ratzon. Okay. Now, at that time, Ve'ika atikin ayadei kol hashloisha tzadikim shenistalku b'Shabbos b'mincha b'Ravin derabin Ratzon sheb'Ratzonos. So we know that there were 3 tzadikim. Again, Rav Nosson is going over the lesson from the beginning, from the beginning of Halacha Hey. And now he's just going to keep adding little things. He's reviewing. We're making chazara, right? So you saw these things before. He's doing this again. He's making like an appendix. He's going to add a little bit more to make sure we understand it before we leave the concept, okay? Shehem, Yosef, Moshe, and Dovid. And that's the order, right? Yosef, of course, was the first one. Yosef Tzadik, Moshe Rabbeinu, and Dovid HaMelech. Shebishvil zeh, oimim sholosh pamim tzitkoscha. So you know on Shabbos by Mincha, right? You say this after Shmon Esrei, right? The same place you would say Tachnun, right?
Oh, you're right, just this right. Yeah. There's one paragraph.
There's one paragraph, 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Tzidkoscha, right? We say three paragraphs in there. Each one is for one of these 3 tzaddikim. Wow, you see that?
It's Shabbos afternoon.
Shabbos afternoon by Mincha.
Yeah.
Right.
By Mincha. See that?
After Mitzvah.
No, after the Shmon Esrei. We said the Ratzon before, and then we talked about the 3 people that left the world at that time. Okay, Oz.
What's the connection to Tachanun? That when you don't say Tachanun, you don't say...
Well, the tzaddikim that passed away.
Right. Well, you don't say Tachanun.
Yeah.
You don't say Tzedakah.
When you don't say Tachanun, right. Right, because so on the days you wouldn't say Tachanun, so then those days are days of Ratzon anyway. So here I say the names of the tzaddikim. I'm referring to the 3 psukim of the tzaddikim to reinforce my Ravadar. But when it's a Yom Tov or a day that you wouldn't say Tachanun, you're closer to the Ratzon anyway. It's not a day of much din as anyway. Either way, okay. Let's now. Oz u'Mashiach yiyeh kolol mikula. And then we learned the concept that Moshiach tzekena, right? He should come, please God, today, speedily in our day. Right? Okay. Mashiach is going to be kolol, is going to be inclusive of all the 3 tzaddikim, right? Mashiach ben Dovid will have the neshama, right, of Dovid HaMelech. We'll have this, of course, Dovid HaMelech, of course, the neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu and Yosef Tzadik. We also learned that really the Mashiach is going to have the neshamas of all the tzaddikim of all time. It has to be a very powerful neshama. All right. Through him will be the final tikkun. That's the tikkun we're waiting for, right? We're waiting for that final repair, right? When Mashiach comes, that'll be the time that we there won't be any more gullus. This is the final one. We're waiting for that gullus now. The gullus to end with Mashiach coming, and that'll end the whole thing. Ki tikkun hakol toli rak b'tzadikei emes shehem b'chinas Mashiach, because the tikkun is dependent on the tzaddikim. Again, we are all dependent on the tzaddikim, right? That's what we keep speaking about in our Shmon Esrei. Mishal miftach la tzaddikim, ala tzaddikim el chasidim, right? We talk about that in the Shmon Esrei, right? We keep talking about that. We need the koyach of the tzaddik, because whether we attach ourselves to the tzaddik or not, the tzaddikim are working for us. How much better is it when we connect ourselves to the tzaddikim, right? Right? The tzaddikim are there to help us anyway, right? Whether we're connected to them or not. But how much greater is it when we're connected to the tzaddik? That's much greater. Okay? Okay. Bechina Shleisha Tzadikim are now the three Tzadikim that we mentioned above, Yosef, Moshe, and Dovid. Vayikra Tikkun Ayadei Ha'aras Haratzon. The main tikkun comes, right, when we draw the pigeon down from the place of Ratzon. Right? And there was, remember we said that we got out of Mitzrayim, Hashem took the pigeon from that place of Metzach Haratzon, right? And we said on Pesach, we won't eat any chametz, right? Because chametz is the same word as Metzach, right? Chametz, Metzach, same letters as chametz, right? So we don't want to touch any chametz, we don't want to see it or anything, because we don't want to deal with the Metzach HaTachton, where all the judges are and all of that court stuff. So we don't want to get in that, right? So that's why we don't deal with any chametz or anything. That's because we want to be connected to the Ratzon, right? On Pesach. So here, all pigeon comes from that place of Ratzon. Like we started off the Shia today, right? All pigeon comes from that place of Ratzon. Rabbi Nachman spoke a lot about this in Sichas Haran, in lesson 14. That's the book of wisdom. If you want to look it up in English, that's the book of wisdom. You can look it up in lesson 14. Okay, the main thing is our Ratzon. Here we go. In other words, we need to always have the Ratzon. We have to want. What does Ratzon mean? To will, to want, to desire, right? I have to want to be close to Hashem. I have to want to be better. I have to want to do tshuva. You understand? It's dependent on our Ratzon. The Rebbe spoke a lot about this. In other words, what we actually accomplish, that's up to Hashem. But we can have the desire to accomplish. I can have the desire, the ratzon, to want. I want to be better. I want to change. I want to get closer to Hashem. It's such an important, beautiful concept. In other words, I can want. You understand? That's what it's all about. Kiyesh b'nei anurim. Now he says, and he goes on to explain this. Kiyesh b'nei anurim, shadayim heim kisherim v'loy kilkulu. You have some youngsters, right? You have some youngsters that are still pure. They didn't make any kilkul. They didn't do too many sins. They're still pure people. Begam oisem tzrichim la'oirer sheyizku la'arichas yamim the kedusha v'la'isep b'chol yom kedusha v'das. So even these people, right? Even these youngsters, right? They need this idea of the arichas yamim. Of course they need it, right? Everyone needs it. Everyone needs this idea of the arichas yamim. We said, what's arichas yamim? Any time during the day you turn to Hashem. Any time during the day you study Torah, any time during the day you're doing chasadim, you're speaking to Hashem, you're davening, right? Whatever you're doing mitzvahs, you're working. You're going to work, but you're going to work in order to earn a living. You're doing it the right way, right? You're following the laws of Choshen Mishpat, right? You're following the laws. You're careful what you say. You don't talk Lashon Hara, right? All these nice things, right? You do all these things make the time part of your arichas yam. That's your longevity. That's your that's the true longevity, because that's when you take the time and you make that time eternal, right? If a person just wastes his day away doing nothing, he's not connected to Hashem, so he wasted that day away. So that's the worst thing, right? Because then that time it just gets canceled. So of course these guys that didn't go off the path at all, right? They're still good guys. They're still young guys, and they're still good. Of course, they still need this. V'zeh bechinas Yosef. That's the idea of Yosef. Yosef means to add, right? Yosef means to Moshe, to add. To add. You have to add time. Add time to your day. Shu bechinas taisvis to kedusha. Add kedusha. Add holiness. Add sanctity to your day. Ki Yosef kavash es Yitzray v'amber ben Nisayin. Because we know that Yosef HaTzadik, he was able to overpower his Yetzer Hara, right? And he stood up to the test, right? He stood up to that test of all tests. He stood up to the test of all tests. He's a young man. He's in Mitzrayim. He was sold into slavery. Next thing he knows is in this house. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. And he knows he can get himself in trouble if he doesn't do what this lady wants, right? But he doesn't care. He overcomes it. He sees his father's face, right? Rashi says. He saw the Moisduk Moishalov. He saw his father's face, right? And he said, well, I can't do that. He recognized that his father's on the Kisei HaKavod, right? Yaakov Avinu's face is on the Kisei HaKavod, whatever that means, right? On the throne of glory. He saw his, wait a second. If I do this, I won't count. I won't be part of how can I do this? Unbelievable. But he overcame his Yetzer. Whatever means he did, we used to do it, he did. He overcame his Yetzer. Ubekoichai mekablin mi shechofetz be'emes sheyia gamkein koivesh es Yitzray. We can all connect to Yosef. We can connect to the Tzadikim that were before us. All these Tzadikim were here before us. Why were they here? They were here to set the groundwork for us, right? They set the groundwork for us so we can be successful. You follow? In other words, they did the groundwork. They were the pioneers. I guess you could say that, right? They were the pioneers. They pioneered for us so we could be successful. We can also vanquish our Yetzeras, and we have to remember that. In other words, we're connected to these tzaddikim, so when the Yetzer attacks you, listen, Yosef Atzadik was able to overcome that. Why can't I? I can do that also. I'm connected to Yosef Atzadik. Okay? And add every day, be mechazik, strengthen your desire, your will to come closer to Hashem every day. Until you can Yosef, add. See that, the word, right? Yosef, add. You can add, again, how are you going to add? Be connected to the tzaddik. Be connected to Yosef HaTzadik. Right? Be connected to Yosef HaTzadik.
Okay, so we do that consciously, but how is it different or more powerful to go to the grave of a tzaddik?
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, we're talking about, we don't know about Moshe. I don't know where his grave is.
No, Torah says we don't know where it is. Right.
But Yosef and all the tzaddikim of up in Shabbat.
Yeah.
How is it more powerful than thinking about it sitting here, going there?
Oh, okay. So that's a good question. So you want to know what is the benefit of going to Kivrei Tzadikim?
Of course, I know there's a benefit.
Okay.
Yeah,
right. Okay, so let's go back to the spies, right? Let's go back to the spies, right? Okay. So there were 12 spies that went out, right? 2 spies decided that they were not going to go on the regular path. They were going to go to Hebron. 2 of the spies, right? Kalev ben Yefuna and Yeshua ben Nun, right? They both went. And that's why they both were saved. Right? They went there to daven to be spared from these other guys, because they knew what they were up to. They were in the group. They understood that we have to break away from them. We're going to go daven, and then we'll go join them again. So he said, there's obviously based on Torah, right?
Right.
There's a big advantage of going to Kivrei Tzadikim, right? The tefillah, when you go to the Kivrei Tzadik, you're going to, in the merit of the tzaddik, you ask the tzaddik, in your merit, can you please ask Hashem for whatever that you need? That I came to your grave, right? That I came here, right? I came here, and I'm davening here to Hashem. In other words, we don't daven to the tzaddik. We never daven to any that's a form of idolatry. We don't do that, right? You go to the cave of a tzaddik, and you ask the tzaddik if he can assist. You could talk to the tzaddik. Right? You can talk to the tzaddik, but you don't daven to the tzaddik.
It's such a fine line.
Mashu.
Yeah.
Right? That's that Mashu, Moshe, Mashu, right? Moshe, Mashu, right? It's a fine line. But you have to know that. That's a very important thing. Now you ask it and you can say to Hashem, because I'm by the cave of the tzaddik, Hashem, can you please, in the merit of the tzaddik, can you please help me? Right? But here we're learning Here we're learning that with Yosef, in his name itself means to add. right? His name itself means to add. And Yosef HaTzadik was the one that was able to overcome his Yetzer Hara on such a level that we can't understand, right? We can't understand what that was, right? We don't understand. By your mind, right? There's a shalshelis on there, right? That's the three. By your mind, right? It was difficult, but he was able to overcome it.
And because he overcame it, I've learned
Yeah.
through different chassidists that
Yeah.
he put the power.
That's what we just learned.
Right.
He said that he was the pioneer. He was the
Right.
pioneer. He let set up the groundwork. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, but wait a second. Now, so that was these are the good guys, right? These are the good guys that the youngsters that are on the right program. They didn't veer from the path, right? And they have to keep adding. We teach them that. But now let's look at the other guys here. But there are a lot of guys that they stumbled a lot, right?
Done whatever they have done.
They what?
They translated done whatever they have done.
Yeah, they've stumbled a lot. Yeah, they've stumbled a lot. Kilkulu harbe. Kilkulu means more than done. Kilkul means they really made a lot of destruction. A lot of damage. Yeah, it was they did a lot of damage. Yeshua kilkulu ma'oid ma'oid. Some of them, they did a lot of damage. V'nasei imayim, what?
He's writing this in the early 1800s.
Yeah. Rav Noson's writing it then. Right. Rav Noson's writing it then. It's a good point you're making, right?
But the Halachos were written before Rav Nachman?
No, after he was nifty. Yeah. V'nasa yimoya masha nasa, and what happened. And there was during that time we had the Haskalah, right? You had the Enlightened movement. And we were losing Yidden. It was unbelievable. We were losing them like flies, really. And some of them were able to come back, but most of them did not come back. They went into that world and they just got lost there.
But some of their kids and grandchildren are coming back.
Yeah. Baruch Hashem.
Right at this table.
And it's so
Right at this table.
Baruch Hashem.
it's so understandable how they got lost.
Yeah.
The enticement
Yeah.
of many things. It's so easy
Yeah.
to get lost.
It's easy. Yeah. V'zeh,
And then back when they have learning.
V'zeh shechiach b'yosem ma'oid b'frat ata. Rav Nosson writes this specifically now. It's very shayach. It's apropos for today's time. I think Rav Nosson was writing for us today, right? Okay, Rachman al-Litzlan. V'tzrichim la'aloisam v'zeh ikra avodas Moshe Rabbeinu she'oisik tamid la'alois mishmad l'ratzon. So we need the power of Moshe Rabbeinu. He said that Moshe Rabbeinu is standing bein shmad l'ratzon. That's Moshe Rabbeinu. So Yosef is adding, right? Yosef, we add to Kedusha every day. That's Yosef, right? Moshe is the one that's standing, he's buried bein shmad, he's bein shmad l'ratzon, right? Moshe Rabbeinu. He's shmad l'ratzon. He's right in between. That. Why is he right in between? We said, shmad is 344. Ratzon is 346. Moshe is 345. So he's right in the middle. He's right in the middle between Shmad and Ratzon. He's right there in the middle.
And he always was.
Yeah.
Intermediary.
We're going to learn.
Wait. Just thinking.
Ki Moshe nikra al Shem ki min hamayim mishisihu. His name is Moshe because from the water he was extracted from the water. Min hamayim mishisihu. Right? He was extracted from the water. Okay, from which water? From the water of the Nile, right? The Nile is referring to all of the sins, the water of the sin of Mitzrayim. Shem Ramez al Shem ha'osid kamuva hainu shemoisha moirid es atzmei l'soich umke meimei Mitzrayim. Moshe Rabbeinu went into the deep waters of Mitzrayim. He went into those deep waters of Mitzrayim. right? In other words, let's think about it. He went in his little basket, right? Moshe was connected to Noah, right? We know that, right? And the same way Noah was in a basket, Moshe Rabbeinu was in a little basket in his teva. Moshe Rabbeinu was also in a teva, right? And he also went in the water. And could you imagine? Think about it. Moshe Rabbeinu was in the water, and could you imagine what it would have been like if some kind of one of these Mitzrayim, these wicked people, would have found him? Right? He was in a basket. He was in a basket in the water. Wow. Mayim azidoinim, the water of sin. All the sin of Mitzrayim, everything was there. The Mitzrayim used to think that the Nile was their god. They used to worship the Nile, right? Because the Nile would always overflow, right? The Nile would overflow and water all their fields. So they would have a lot of vegetables. They would have a lot of produce. Everything came from the Nile. So the Nile was a god. Moshe was in there. Umala misham hanefashes hanefulei shenaflu l'sayich. And Moshe Rabbeinu was able to take out all the souls that fell into that water, that fell into the water of the sin and all of that. Meya mabel, mamash, rachmanu litzlan, the waters, the flood waters, rachmanu litzlan. Rav Nosson is writing, we have a lot of guys that fell away, and Moshe Rabbeinu is the one standing that's between Shmad and Ratzon, right? He's 345, Shmad's 344, Ratzon's 346. He's right in the middle. And he's trying to pull out all of those guys that are in the Shmad, that went down there, and bring them back to the Ratzon. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu is doing. Okay? Ki Moshe hu tikun meya mabel, kamuvam b'ksovim, right? Moshe Rabbeinu is the tikun for the flood waters, right? In other words, we went down to Mitzrayim. Why? Because of the sins of the people of the time of the flood. We went there. That's the whole Gezer of Mitzrayim came about because of that. The Arizal says what? Yeah. Allah pasuk shegam. Look at this word. Bishegam hu basar. Bishegam hu basar. What is that? Bishegam da Moshe. This word bishegam, that's Moshe. Why? It's the gematria of Moshe. Bishegam is the gematria of Moshe. When it says bishegam hu basar, that's Moshe Rabbeinu. It says in the Zohar. So Moshe Rabbeinu is connected to the flood waters of the waters of the Mabel of that time, and that's why Moshe Rabbeinu was placed into the water again. But this way, think about it. Noach did not daven for the people of his time. He didn't know he could daven for his people of his time, right? He didn't know that. He was just trying to stay afloat himself, right? He was trying to stay afloat himself with his family. So, but the problem was Hashem wasn't happy with him because of that, right? There was a mistake. After the destruction, then Noah starts to daven to Hashem. So Hashem says, "You shaita, why didn't you daven before?" Right? That's what happened, right? The Torah says. Hashem said he was a shatya, he was a fool. Why didn't you daven before him? You could have davened before and saved and spared the world. So Moshe Rabbeinu comes around, and Moshe Rabbeinu is also put in the water with all of the which is connected to the sins and all of the mistakes of Egypt, and Moshe Rabbeinu was able to make that tikkun. Okay, here we go. The words are written there. That's in the Priyetz Chaim. Okay, if you want to look it up, Reb Simcha, you were concerned. You asked about that, right? Ki Golus Mitzrayim hayil l'saken chet aramabo. The Golus of Mitzrayim was to fix the sin of the generation of the flood. Shebeshvil zeh hishlichu habanim liyar, and that's why the children were thrown into the water. Right? The children were thrown into the water is referring to the children that sin. Well, you don't have a sefer?
It's okay. Baruch Hashem.
We live in the modern time today.
I have one home also.
Now he has a sefer.
I better bring some more. But where's the little one? Okay. Liar, okay. V'huchrich gam Moshe liyered l'sham. And Moshe too had to go down there because again, Moshe Rabbeinu is Shmad l'Ratzon. He goes down into the deep place to pull them all out, pull them out. Yeah. V'sham yotza al yedei bas paroi daika shenisgaira oz. Wow, Bas Paroi was going down to the water because she was becoming a Gioris at that time. She wanted to go in the water in order to convert. Is that amazing? To take someone from that place, from the house of Paroi, right? From the house of Paroi, his daughter, and she's becoming a Gioris. Is that amazing? It's amazing. Baal Shem Zeh Nikra Moshe, and therefore he's called Moshe. Ramay Begoidel Koichai Shel Moshe Sheosid La'aleis Mishmad Ratzon. He started off well, I guess you could say that Batya, Paro's daughter, was his first student. It was Moshe's first student, right? She was the first one that he took. He took from Shmad L'Ratzon. She was the first one. Right? When he was born, he was put into the water of Mitzrayim. So it wasn't enough that the water didn't just, he didn't get drowned, right? His little teva didn't capsize, and he didn't get drowned in the yam, right? Afgam begoidel koicha yichnis hiru tshuva bebas paroi ad sheniskaira. He was able to put a hiru tshuva into this lady, this Bas Parai, that she wants to make tshuva, she wants to come back. So now if you want to ask questions, so how is Moshe Rabbeinu helping all of the people now? Listen, if he was able to help when he was a little infant, right? When he was a little infant, he was able to help Bas Parai to have a thought of tshuva, that she wants to become a Geras. Of course, Moshe Rabbeinu can help anybody today if they just want to help. Right? If they have pity on themselves, right? If they have pity on themselves, of course the tzaddik can help them. Okay, and again, that's what Moshe Rabbeinu is right in between Shmad and Ratzon, right? Yossi, Moshe Rabbeinu is right between Shmad and Ratzon. Shmad is 344, the gematria. Moshe is 345, and Ratzon is 346. So he's right in the middle. So he's plucking them out of Shmad, and he's putting them right into Ratzon. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu does. That's what it means. He's standing between Shmad and Ratzon.
Yet on this last week's parsha, it talks about that Hashem that Moshe didn't ask Hashem about the Erev Rav who he should take.
Right.
So he tried to pluck these lost souls.
Right, we learned about that last week. We learned about that again, Moshe Rabbeinu thought that these Erev Rav were the lowest of the low. So how great, what a covet for Hashem it would be if I could take these low souls, and I could bring them back to Ratzah. I could bring them to Ratzah, and what great honor they would be to Hashem. But it wasn't ready. They weren't ready to go yet.
Right, but
even though Moshe Rabbeinu, his intentions were pure as can be, and all he was trying to do was to bring more K'fayit Shemai. That's all he was trying to do.
I was reading a commentary.
Yeah.
And and I can't remember because I was reading a lot of commentaries.
Yeah. Okay.
It might have been Miam Loes,
Yeah, but we learned about this last week.
Moshe, it talks about even Moshe. Seemed to not realize that he had to ask permission of Hashem to do what he's doing. So therefore, in all great intentions.
No. The Medrash says that he did ask Hashem. Hashem said, "Don't take them out." But he said to Hashem, "But is it okay if I do it anyway? Because I really want to bring them back." And Hashem says, "If you want to take them, they're yours." That's why Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, "Your people." He says, "Your people." Right? That's why he says, your people. Look what your people are doing. Your people. Right? They're yours. I didn't told you not to take them. You wanted to take them. They're yours. They're not mine.
Okay, the Medrash says that.
Yeah.
It's in the Chumash.
Yeah, you'll see it. Look at
Read
it.
it yesterday.
Maybe.
Yeah. They're your people. No, but unless you understand it, what it means, your people. That's what we're explaining now. Now you understand why it was.
Choice.
It was your. These are your people made this. They made this whole problem. Yeah, they made this. Yeah.
So how do we rectify that?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right? Yeah. Until he was able to be taken out
You
the
gotta help us
Gashmias Mayor,
rectify.
Nikra al Shem Zeh Moshe min Hamayim Mishisiyu, from the water. He was extracted from the water, from the flood waters of Egypt, right? All of the sin of Egypt, right? Gam Ata, right? Zeh kol iskoi tamid lohaitzi kol hanayflim mimayim hazidainim. Right, Moshe Rabbeinu was working to take everyone out for those that fell into the waters of sin. Mei Amabel, which is connected to the Mei Amabel, the water, the flood waters, right? V'ikah b'koyach hamtoka shemamshich merotzon ha'elyon. He takes the pigeon, right? He gets that pigeon from that place, that highest place, the Ratzon Elyon. That's where all pigeon comes from that Ratzon Elyon, shenistalek lisham, and that's why Moshe Rabbeinu left the world, we know, at that time, right? Remember we learned that idea? That the Moshe Rabbeinu was trying to make the Menorah. Remember that concept? We learned about the Menorah 2 weeks ago? Right? We learned about the Menorah. Moshe Rabbeinu could not make the Menorah. Remember that? He didn't know how to make the Menorah. Hashem showed him how to make the Menorah, and he forgot. And he showed him again, and he forgot. But Bezalel makes the Menorah right away. Remember we learned that? Bezalel right away, he does it mamish miyad. He does it miyad, right? So what was the idea? The idea was, we learned that Moshe Rabbeinu, the Menorah was there to help everybody, the light of the Menorah, which is the light of Hashem, which is pigeon. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu to make this Menorah that it's going to help all people for all time, right? All people in all time. Moshe Rabbeinu says, I can't do that. How am I going to do that? I can't do that. I can't do that. But Bezalel understood that his Rebbe, he understood that Moshe Rabbeinu was really on that level. He was on the level of Ratzon. He was on the level of the 50th gate. He understood that. But Moshe Rabbeinu thought that he wasn't. Right? He thought that he wasn't. And because he thought that he wasn't, that's why he was able to be there. If he thought he was able to be there, then he wouldn't be there. All right, so that's why Hashem took Moshe Rabbeinu out of the world, specifically that time at Mincha, to show him that you are connected to the 50th gate. You are connected to the Rava the Ravin. Okay? Bo'az kishemalin elo hanefoshes, hein b'nei Yisrael sheshavim b'tshuva v'hein hagerim shenisbgairim. And then when Moshe Rabbeinu is able to bring back these people, right? He's able to make the tikkun. He's able to make the tikkun meishmad l'rotzen. From any Jews that fell away, he can help them. And of course, any of the non-Jews that want to become Jews, again, that's through Moshe Rabbeinu. Malo oisa mimetzach harotzen, right? He takes them from that place. He takes them to the place of metzach harotzen. Umechazkam Tamid sheloi yitu chas v'sholem acha chachmas hateva, and he helps them that they shouldn't fall away to the chachmas hateva. Right, Reb Nosson is writing that a lot now, right? Right, because again, the chachmas hateva which is the metzach hanochash. That's the other metzach. We know everything is balanced, right? Hashem makes the metzach elyon. Right on the opposite side, you have the metzach isha zoyne we learned, right? And you have the metzach hanochash, right? Metzach HaNochash, right? The Nochash, he's on the other side. To save us from going to be bit by the snake. The snake wants to always constantly attack us. Shemisham kol haradifa v'taivas momon sheboi kol ha'avodah zoros b'bechina shmat. And that's where how do they attach it? The avodah zarah today is money, right? People, they say, worship the dollar, right? They say that. There's an expression like that, right? This guy worships the dollar. Is that an interesting thing? Right? In the vernacular, they'll say he worships the dollar. We know that the taiva of mammon, the taiva of money, was exchanged for the taiva of avodah zarah. So people today are connected to earning more money, but just for the sake of the taiva of the mammon. So those people are people that are connected to the snake. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable.
It's a difficult derek to be in business. How do you do all the right things? Somebody dangles somewhat riches in front of you, but you have to do the wrong thing. It's that taiva is a difficult.
Yeah.
But
That's
we have the taiva that we have to support our families too, but you don't want to do it in the wrong way.
you have to support your family. You follow the within the confines of Shulchan Aruch,
Right.
right? You do it the
No,
right
I'm
way.
saying, I'm just saying it's a
Okay, of course.
taiva, it's a, that, I can understand how we've exchanged it. Did we win by that? I'm not sure.
No. Well, listen, but again, if you connect it to the Torah of Moshe, right? You connect it to Moshe, so then he puts you on the side of Metzach HaRatzon, which you're spared from the Metzach HaNachash, the other side, right? Okay, let's go on. Any questions on this? Or we got it now, right? Okay, so basically, Yosef is there to help us add. He wants us always to add. So those people that are the guys that are from birth, okay, the FFBs, right? Those guys that didn't have too much kilkul in their life, he teaches them that they have to keep adding more kedusha, more arichas, more arichas yomim to their days, adding kedusha to their days. That's Yosef. Moshe is taking those that fallen down from Shmad and he brings them back to Ratzon. Okay.
Is that the same thing that Rabbi Nachman is doing?
Rabbi Nachman does the same. If he says he comes to me, if you come to Rabbi Nachman, he'll pull you out of the thing by the payas. So yeah, same idea. Yeah. V'zeh klal shekol hamidos hein tovos hein rois kulam tluyin zeh b'zeh. All midos, right? Look at these words. V'zeh klal. This is the rule. Shekol hamidos, all midos. Heim tovos, heim rois. We spoke about that, right? We have the 10 Eser spheres to kedusha, right? We have the 10 holy spheres, right? And then we have the 10 domains of impurity, right? Keneged that. All of them. Kulam tluyim zeh b'zeh. Kamuva makei macher. They're all connected to what we said in another place. Ki mitzvah, gaireres mitzvah, aveira, gaireres aveira. Right? Mitzvah, we know the concept, right? We know this concept of mitzvah is gaireres mitzvah, right? If a person does one mitzvah, right, so then it'll cause him to do another mitzvah, right? The mitzvah itself will cause him to do another mitzvah. It works the other way also. Chas v'shalom, if a person did an aveira, that aveira is going to cause him to do another aveira, right? We learned from Sichas Aran, the Rebbe says that if a person does an aveira, he should right away do a mitzvah, break the trend. Right, you start a trend, break the trend by doing a mitzvah, so then you stop the aveira, gaireres aveira, and then you turn it back into mitzvah, gaireres mitzvah, okay? So on both sides, right? So as you see here, on both sides, the side of kedusha, it's mitzvah, gaireres mitzvah. On the other side, it's aveira, gaireres aveira. It's equal, they're balanced. They work the same way. Rachman Latzlan. Okay, but Al Ken Kishenoiflim L'Teva Chas V'Sholem Umiskabe Taivas Mammon. If a person falls to Teva, and then he gets involved in the Taiva of Mammon, he just wants money for the sake of having money, right? The same way like a person serves an idol, right? For the sake of nothing. He just serves, he wants money. And we discussed the other day how silly the Taiva of Mammon really is, because really, what is money today? Right? What is money today? If you told me the guy wanted, he wanted gold or silver, okay, maybe. But the guy did just want money. It's fiction. Is it not?
It's a pretty good fiction.
It's a good fiction, right?
Because, we all want money, but we all need money.
You need money to live, right?
You need money to live. So you have to have it. It's not like...
And you want to give money to a pigeon, to the tzaddik, you need money.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Sasha, it's a fiction, but it doesn't always have a good ending.
All right.
The story doesn't always
And
have a
it's
good ending.
easier for some of us
Like
to
this,
say
let me
this
try that fiction now.
when we seem to have enough money for our daily needs.
You can say what you want, but it is what it is. This is the truth. Is the truth.
I'm not arguing truth.
There we go. Okay, the time is gabe be'em. If people that fall to teva, what does it mean they fall to teva? They think if I'm going to work harder, I'm going to make more money. Right? People believe that. People believe I'm going to work harder. I'll take a second job. I'll make more money. I'll take a third job. I'll make more investments. I'll do whatever, and I'll make more money. That's falling to teva. They don't recognize that the parnasa comes from Hashem. That's the problem, right? You understand? That's what it means. They felt what?
They say it's a sgula, to work, to get money. It's a sgula, right?
Yeah.
And of course it comes from
It's
Hashem.
just a
but
challenge.
No, but no.
How much
Shnei
ishtadlus I should put in?
Well, I mean, look at the
Everybody is
look.
different.
One second. Look at the tzadikim, right? You had, let's say, the Chavetz Chaim, right? So you had a store.
Didn't need much.
It doesn't matter what he needed. He figured out he needed how many kopeks he needed for the day, or rubles, whatever currency they used at that time, right? He figured out I need 10 of them, I need 12 of them, 15, whatever. He made 15 rubles. He closed the store. Finished. I'm closed. Done. He knew what he needed to live. He knew what he needed to pay his bills. I don't need more than that, right? But again, as we're saying here, that the person falls to teva. That's the point. You understand? He falls to teva. Teva means that he believes it's b'koyach of oitzim yadim. Right? It's my desire. It's my craftiness. I'm such a cunning guy. I'm so smart. I can figure out how to do this. That's teva. That's teva. That's taiva's moment. But when you recognize your money is coming from Hashem, right? And again, Baruch, like you were saying, if you recognize that the money is coming from Hashem, so that guy is dangling this thing in front of you. If it's from Hashem, you're supposed to get it, you're going to get it. If you're not supposed to get it, you're not going to. You recognize this. Oh, I'm only going to get what Hashem wants me to have anyway. So why am I going to take this money from this guy that's not honest money? What do I need it for?
And most of us have never figured out what we actually need.
Yeah.
Our imagination just take us, whoa.
No. That's because we were brought up in Western culture.
Yeah,
But Western culture means you have to have insurance. You need to have insurances. You need to have this and that and the other thing, right?
I think it's all Western culture.
Huh?
I think
It is.
But God knows what we need,
Of course he does. But-
Yeah.
and that's all that
no
matters.
argument. I'm not.
Yeah.
They say older people, and maybe they should, like, they are very fearful that they'll, look, they're older, they're retired, they're not working anymore. They might have accumulated a large amount of wealth and money, but they're not gonna share it while they're living because, like,
They may need it.
Worried. They may need it. A lot of, again.
Yeah, the guy's got
kids
$1
have
billion
no-
in the bank. I may
right.
need it.
That's right.
I may need it. I can't give my kids a dime. I need it.
It's a very common theme I hear among, like, my peers, with their parents. Parents they don't have to give their kids anything. They don't have any obligation, beyond
Right.
18, whatever it is.
Right.
But the kid's struggling. This is happening. The parents are sitting on a boatload of money with a couple houses, and like, hey, can you help us out? Like, no, I may need it. Or like,
That's not everyone.
I'm not saying it is. I'm not. But
I know there was a guy I knew when I was back in America,
Yeah.
right? There was a guy I knew. His father was really wealthy. He didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. He said to his father, "Why can't you give me the money now?
Right.
Well, and then we can enjoy it together,
Right.
rather than I have to wait for you to die, and then I'll get your money anyway."
Right.
His father didn't like that. His father didn't like that.
I'm working out a deal with my kids that will give them money so they can go buy a house, but they have to realize that I may one day need to come and visit them occasionally.
Okay, that makes you feel better in your own head. That's an insurance policy in your own head
Yeah.
that you're trying to organize. Would say, hey, I help pay for the house.
And I get a room in there. Let me have a room. Well, put your name on
It's
it.
like Hashem saying, "Build me an apartment down here, and I can dwell with you."
Asali migdash v'shachanti b'salcha. Right,
These
right.
guys, this type of money though, really originates from Mitzrayim. Like I read this over Shabbos. That like I guess they had this. They were the source of all these titles. Meaning they had snus. They were really stark in that. They were really stark in Avodah Zarah.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, in money, they were also really.
They love their money.
Yet, when we left Mitzrayim,
They were doing. Mitzrayim was the metropolis of the world, right? They were exporting everything, right? They had the Nile, and they had all the produce, and they were exporting everything. They were making money hand over fist. Money, Taivas Mama. And it was coming from the Avodah Zarah. It wasn't Hashem. See, that's the point. In other words, if you recognize your money is coming from Hashem, and you keep that in your mind, you keep that in your in the forefront of your mind, that you know that this money is coming from Hashem, so then you're not part of this Taivas moment. right? I know what I have is coming to me from Hashem.
That raises the question, what does Hashem want me to do with
Oh, so that's what you need his boda this for.
Yeah,
That's what his boda is for. Hashem, what do I do? Right? Ask the question. That's why his boda is so important, right? V'roitun acha hahevel v'yegias atzumas laviach mama. They're working and they're toiling and they're going and they're just to make more money. They think that it's going to help. They think it's going to help. It doesn't really, all that toil doesn't really amount to anything. And if they do make money, they don't have enough money. So the guy was successful, right? He has $1 million. He got himself $1 million. Nah, my friend's got 10 million. I need more money. So even the guy that does make it, right? Many of them don't make it. We know that, right? Many of these guys that try to become rich, get rich quick schemes, it doesn't really work, right? I remember when I was a kid, I used to like to watch the honeymooners, right? Remember that show? Okay, anyway. I mean, these guys were trying to make money all the time. Always, I gotta get. It's funny. It was funny, right? It was funny. That's what they were trying to do, right? But they never made any money, right? But some of them, okay, but there are those that do try that way, and they go in the derech hateva, and they do make money. But then those guys aren't even happy with what they have because they want more. I don't have enough.
So really what you're saying is beyond your basic needs, the money should go to Hashem, Tzedakah. Beyond your
there are rules on how much tzedakah you have to give, right? There are rules. You don't have to give more than right, but you can. But again, if you that's connected to the machzor shekel, right? We learned last week that if you understand that the money came to you from Hashem, and when the ani comes to my door, I don't look at it. This guy he's coming to try to steal from me. Some people feel that way, right? This guy is coming to my door. This guy is a thief. Why doesn't he go to work and make his own money? I went to work and made my money. Why doesn't he go work and make money? But those that understand that when Hashem sends the ani to the door, it was Hashem sending the ani, and that's really me to give. And I'll have to listen to what the ani wants, what his problems are. Right? That's a big thing, right? To listen when they're talking. Listen to them. Feel their pain. When you understand what they're going through, then you'll want to give them a little bit more money, right? But if we realize it's all from Hashem anyway, right? There's one mitzvah Hashem says you can test me with. That's the mitzvah of tzedakah, right?
Yep.
Hashem says that's one mitzvah you can test Hashem. Give more tzedakah, and Hashem says I'll give you more money. Unbelievable, right? That's the only mitzvah. Hashem says test me.
In Shabbos, put money too. Shabbos and
Yeah, put money for Shabbat. That's not on your regular cheshbon, right? They say that, right? So those people that are frugal and they wouldn't buy something nice for Shabbos, they're foolish because they can buy it anyway. That's not from their cheshbon.
Right.
If they're really buying it for Shabbos, yeah.
Then I'm remembering I was.
Yeah, some of these guys know that too. You know, in Meir Sham, these guys that sell the Shabbos food, they charge a fortune because it's not your money anyway. So what do you worry about? Just give me more.
I was in the old city.
I asked one of the guys one time. I said, "Wow, I'm a chiola." He said, "No, what the kesef shulchan?"
Where you know your customer.
But it's not true. in
Yeah.
what
Okay.
you're
Anyway,
saying
let's
that way.
what?
It's manipulative.
But I gave some money to someone in the old city.
Yeah.
He looked and he said, "It's not enough." He threw it down on the ground.
That's
his
very,
problem.
that's
his
very
problem.
unusual. Very unusual.
That's his problem, not
But that's
yours.
very
I
unusual.
understand.
Okay. Ve'im lepamim marviach einei masbik lehem befrat achshav, specifically now. Rav Nosson is writing this in his time, right? So whenever someone had they so to say struck it, they made it. But Rav Nosson said they weren't happy with it anyway. Okay? V'azai choizer miskabe kol ha'taivas kinna v'tava v'kovod, and then comes more taiva, kinna, jealousy, right? Taiva, desire, and they want more honor. Ubefrat taivas haklolius, the taiva of niyaf, right? The taiva the taiva with women, illicit relationships and things. Shehu ikara the Yetzer bisha, that is the main vice of the Yetzer Hara, right? The taiva of women, that whole taiva, that's the main
More
vice.
than money, more than avodah zarah.
Yeah.
More than kavod, more than cost.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what the
Saying, right?
yeah.
This is Rav Nachman's.
That's Klolius, a cult. That's the Zohar says that. It's not Rabbi Nachman. The Yetzer Bisha, right? That's from the Zohar. Ki pegam habris u pegam taivas mammon fluyim zeh bezeh. I like that. The taiva of mammon and the taiva with women are connected. Mamash connected. They're intertwined. They're intertwined. So if a person falls to the idea of teva, that he thinks it's all him, right? It's all him. I'm making the money myself. So then the guy has more covet, right? He feels he needs more honor because he has the money, right? He feels he needs more covet because he made more money. Yeah. I did it. Me. It's mine. So you have to give me more honor, right? Then if he has more money, he wants more honor, then he wants more. Either way. Kamuva b'toyra v'tzivisi tzedek hidesecha. Right, it's lesson in Likutey around lesson 23. Kamavaya b'divreinu harbe b'zeh. The Rebbe speaks a lot about this idea. So basically, let's try to understand that when you earn your money, you're earning your money. It's coming from Hashem, right? And you're only going to have what Hashem wants you to have. So why are you going to make yourself crazy to try to make more money when you're not going to have it anyway? Ask Hashem.
Design the system to make it look really like.
Yeah. That I'm doing it. Yeah.
The more I'm going to get.
Yeah. But does it always work out like that?
It more often works out that the harder work you put in, the more money you get.
No.
Right, but then it also works out that you
It's
get in
just
the
your-
mail. Wait,
It's
hold
just
on, wait a
your-
second,
it's
wait a
just
second,
your
wait, yeah,
perception.
that's
It's your
true. Wait a second,
perception.
that's true. But then you get a bill in the mail that, where did this come from? Ever happen?
Yeah.
You get a bill, I made all this money, right?
The roof gets
Wait, I
over.
made all this money, and then all of a sudden I get this big bill comes in. Right, the roof has a leak, right? Or whatever. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Right, you get a tax bill, you get a whatever. It could be anything. You don't want to have it anyway. No, it looks like it's really good, right? I made more money. You see that? But at the end of the day, what do you actually have? When you do your cheshbon, what do you actually wind up with?
But the reverse also happens. There's times when I got money, I had no idea I was going to get this money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it just showed up. It was weird. So it happens the other way around.
It does. When you trust in Hashem, Hashem sends you money all kind of ways.
I
Yeah.
found that the most money, many times that I've made, has been a happening. And of course, I recognized it, I took advantage of it, okay, but that it wasn't all my planning.
It came to
and
you.
this and that. It was just that a transaction developed in front of me out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's do another
Just
paragraph.
telling you something I
Yeah.
remember.
Baal ken kishimalin hanefoshes. And therefore, when we're working on raising up souls, who's raising up the souls? Yosef and Moshe, right? We said Yosef works on those that are on the right track, but he helps them go higher and higher. And Moshe is taking those that fell all the way down, and Moshe Rabbeinu brings them up, right? Umeir aleim oris metzach harotzen. They shine upon them the light from this metzach harotzen, right? The pigeon from metzach harotzen. Azai adayin habaldover oirev aleim. But the baldover is standing, lying in ambush, right? He's lying in ambush, trying to attack them anyway, right? So in other words, they came. In other words, they see the light, right? Moshe Rabbeinu brings them back. Yosef Tzaddik is helping them, but the Yetzer Hara is lying in ambush. He's trying to attack them, right? He's trying to attack them. Tomid, ki hu mischadesh al kol adam b'chol yoim. Because the Yetzer Hara is very, very, very clever. And he's always renewing his tactics. He has new tactics every single day. He writes the script better than anybody else. He's very, very crafty. The Yetzer Hara is very crafty. He's going to come up with something totally different. And he'll show you, this is the way it is. Right? Every day he comes up with new things. That's why every day you have to connect yourself to Hashem. That's why every day we're saying the Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem. It's not enough. You did it yesterday. I got to do it again today. I have to connect today to the Ratzon. Right? Because he's going to come around every day, try with a new tactic and try to fool me. All right? As Chazal teach us, and you can look this up in Kedushin on Daf Lamed Amid Beis Efrat Al Oisan Shekvar Shenichlashu, especially those that already fell down, those that were nichshol, that stumbled. Those guys, the Yetzer can come back to them and show them, you see, it was so good those days when you did those things. It was so good. He shows them a different way. He shows them a different way. So they'll want to come back again. They'll want to come back to the Yetzer. Al Kain, who misnakel aleim lachsar therefore, he's constantly working to knock them over again, a new way to knock them down again, right? Because they try to come back. Because in these people, they saw the Metzach HaRatzon, they experienced it, but it's not clear to them. They don't get. They were just introduced to the concept. This is the reason I believe Reb Nosson is going over this concept so many times. He wants to make sure that this concept is clear by us. That it's not that we just saw a preview of it. We saw a preview, oh, it's nice, but then we don't have it chazak, it's not strong. So Reb Nosson is trying to reinforce it into us again and again and again and again, right? Right? And this is the main point here, that Reb Nosson is trying to really help us with this idea that we have to understand that the Yetzer is there, and he's going to constantly try to attack us in any way he can, And how does he do it? He puts suffix in our right. Amalek is the same gematria as suffix, right? Amalek, suffix, same gematria. Amalek, suffix, right? So Amalek is the agents of the Yetzer, right? And what do they try to do? Place suffix in our minds to get us back to where we are. In other words, he uses suffix, right? So you saw this light of Hashem. It was great. You experienced this. It was great. Yeah, but wait a second. But are you sure you really experienced it? But wasn't this much better? That was much better. The Yetzer will use these things, right? I'll show you. This thing this was much better. And then you have doubt in your mind, and that's how to use it. So you have to keep working on the idea of the Metzach HaRatzon to make it stronger and stronger. How do we do that? Every day we connect to the Tzadikim of Yosef and Moshe, like we learned today. Yosef means to add, right? Yosef, add. Right? Your name, right? Yosef means to add. Add more Kedusha. See, that's why it's your name. Add more Kedusha every day. You have to have Arichas Yomim. Add Erech every day. Add more time to your day, more time connected to Hashem. That's Yosef, right? Teaches those guys that are on the right path. And Moshe Rabbeinu is there to help out those guys that fell down. And the prime example that we used today was even Bas Parai. Bas Parai, how Moshe Rabbeinu was able to affect Hira Tshuva in Bas Parai. That she can have a thought of Tshuva, that she wants to come back and leave that world. Moshe Rabbeinu's first student was Bas Parai. That's amazing, right?
Even as a baby.
As a baby. So how much more so he can do that at this age, at the stage of Moshe Rabbeinu when he was 120 years, when he left the world, with giving over the Torah's Moshe to us. So we should all, I think we're going to stop over here because it's getting a little late. All right, and Baruch Hashem will finish this lesson in Yetzer tomorrow. Everyone, Besorah Tovat, and remember to connect to the Metzach HaRatzon.